What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I told you guys in the last video that the first thing we needed to do to the F-150 is these headlights, and today that's exactly what we're going to do. So I don't know if you guys remember, but we installed an OEDRO bumper on the rear of the JL not too long ago, and they reached out and apparently they have 2014 F-150 headlights, so they sent us that. And out of my excitement, I couldn't wait, but I went ahead and busted this box open, and this is what we got. That's upside down. So here they are. They have a switchback running light right here that I'm gonna have to wire in, and basically the only thing they don't have from the factory headlight is a projector style reflector, which, as you guys can see here, I would prefer a projector style, but at the same time it's not really helping me if the headlight looks like this. So you still have your turn signal and the amber reflector, but that's pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and see what it takes to put these things in. All right, so I went ahead and popped the hood, and a couple things I didn't tell you guys about the last time we talked about the truck is that's the 5.0, the Coyote motor. That's a brand new battery because I just had to replace the battery because apparently the dealer I got it from didn't. And yeah, it came with this AFE intake already on the truck. But back to the headlights, it looks like, if I'm guessing, there's a couple bolts up here, a bolt here, and maybe that's it. I guess we're gonna find out. Just like that, the old headlight's out. The old headlight comes with a projector built into it. And as I mentioned before, the new one is not a projector style, but you can't simply take the bulb out of this and put it into here. So I had to go and grab some aftermarket headlight bulbs. And for that, I went with these H13. Nothing special, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in here, and then we should be ready to plug in these headlights. All right, guys, so it is a new day and we've made some progress. And it turns out just having the sport model with the projector headlights means that I had to make a couple of adjustments, and I'll show you guys that on the other side. But as you can see behind me, the light's in, the new bulb's in, and turn signals work perfectly. There's a white daytime running light that does this like fancy dance whenever you turn on the headlights for the first time, and that's also sick. I didn't expect that, so I'll show you guys that in the future. But let's go ahead and get to what I had to do on the other side to make this work. So the removal steps are the exact same on the other side, just reversed. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this headlight out, and then show you how I'm able to pull the wiring from the stock headlight to be able to be spliced into the new H13 harness that will be the new bulbs that we're using. I've removed the other headlight, and in order to make this work the way that it's supposed to, and in order to make this work the way that it was designed for, we're using an H13 headlight bulb. and the Sport model doesn't come with an H13. There's actually an HID in this with the ballast built onto it and the HID projector inside. So what we're gonna need to do is actually pull apart this headlight to get some of the wiring so that we can reuse this connector here instead of actually splicing into the truck wiring itself. This is the connector that powers all of your headlights. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this apart and show you guys how I do it. There's gonna be two tiny little Torx bolts right in here. Not sure if you can see them. That's the actual HID headlight in this unit. I'm gonna take those Torx bolts out so that I can pull this headlight bulb out, and then I'll be able to get to the wiring. When you get to this point, be careful because those tiny bolts, you don't want to lose them. Not that we're ever going to reuse them, but I'd rather just have them both instead of losing them. I guess you can just go ahead and pull the bulb out without unhooking it. All right, quickly unplug this wire. This needs to be loose just so you can pull everything out through the ballast itself. Set that aside. You're not going to need them again. Now for the ballast, that's this unit here. You're going to use a couple 7mm bolts that need to come out, and then it will pop out just like this. And just like so, our ballast is out. Now I'm going to unhook it from this connector. This is the connector that we're actually going to need. And then now that's free. All right, so the ballast is out. Now I need to retrieve this connector from the headlight housing. And to do that, I'm going to pinch the sides and push it through. And just like that, our wiring is free, except for this blue and this black wire. Those I'm just going to cut. All of that work just to get this. To do the conversion portion of this, this is the end of the pigtail that we want to keep. This plugs into the truck, and this part needs to go. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and cut it right past that tape mark. The wires that we're going to be using for this are going to be the blue, the green, and the black. This orange wire is a constant power, and really there's no need for that here, so I'm just going to leave that aside, and I'll cover it up so that there's no power being pushed to that in the future. I'm going to go ahead from this point and strip back just a little bit of each of these wires to get them ready to tie in to the new connector. For the new connector, this is a SC13 connector. It is the female H13 connector. Picked this up at AutoZone. They had 2 of them in stock, so I managed to get lucky. This is going to be what we need to do the conversion. Black goes to black, the blue wire goes to yellow, and finally the red wire goes to green. Now we just heat shrink all of those up, and the conversion part of this is done. So now I'll just plug this into the truck, and this will be ready to plug in to the headlight once we get it in. Now's the fun part. we've got the 3 wires that control the running light on this and the turn signal. These need to be spliced into the factory wiring harness with some of these inline connectors. I'm gonna do my best to show you guys the wires that you need to tie into. All right, so if we're looking at the side marker light, we're going to use the inline connector here on the negative, the black wire, to tie in the black wire on the headlight. Next one up is going to be this brown wire on the headlight. That is going to tap in right here to the yellow wire on the side marker light. These side marker lights are essentially your daytime running light, and that's going to be what powers the white portion of the headlight. As for the yellow wire on the headlight, that's going to tap into this yellow wire with a purple tracer. It's actually a different color on the other side, so just make sure you're going for the furthest most yellow wire that's not the black one. And if we did that right, we should have power to both the white running light and the amber. Now would be a good time to go ahead and test that. And it looks like we're all good. Go ahead and put in that last headlight bulb, tuck away all the wires, and throw this baby in one last time. And now for the most satisfying part of the entire install. That's a wrap. And just like that, we took years off of this old truck's look, and frankly, I really dig it. Now we're just waiting for it to get a little bit darker outside so we can really see them in action. It's that time. Let's show you guys these headlights. So I'm getting a ton of glare off of these right now, but as you can see, they look pretty sick. These DRLs are super bright. And let me go ahead and throw on the turn signal so that you guys can see that. So that's the turn signal. I'm getting a little bit of hyper flash because the rear are LEDs as well, but you can really see the difference between the white and the amber, and it is sequential as well. Super cool looking light. And just so you guys can see the startup sequence that these have, I told you before that they do this little like dance situation whenever you start it up. Let's give it a quick. So if you guys are looking to upgrade your headlights and your, I believe it's 09 to 14 F-150, I would say that the Oedro headlights are a really good option. And they went ahead, because they did send out the headlights, they did also send me a code to send you guys. I'll go ahead and put that down in the description. So if you want to grab them for yourself, go ahead and check them out. I say it's worth the money. The install for you is probably going to be a little bit easier than it was for me, especially if you have a stock halogen headlight in your truck already. But with that said, I gave you all of the tips and tricks if you are switching from the HID to the halogen again. And you can always upgrade that headlight to an LED on top of that. So that's definitely a future plan for me, is to go LED instead of the halogen. But this is going to work for now. And hey, I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. So go ahead, check them out. The link is down in the description. Use that code, save a little bit of money, and let them know I sent you. But that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, because we're getting back into the Jeep content, and I've got a pretty cool project planned ahead. We'll see you soon.